Live from the City of Angels. It's Thursday night. Time for the MMT of Psycho Killer. What a trailer, right? Remember we watched that a few weeks back? Said this is going to be a surprise of 2026. Yeah, it's a surprise. A surprise piece of, dare I say, dog shit cinema on this Thursday night. Welcome in. It's time for the MMT of Psycho Killer live. As always, I picked this track, reminded me of like a serial killer. When the bullet hits the bone. Going way back to the early 80s for this one. Golden Earring tonight, leading us off tonight from Los Angeles. All right, let's get my out-of-theater reaction. I'm going to warn you guys, it's a spoiler stream. This film deserves no restraint. I need to go all in on it and savage it, screenplay in particular. So if you don't want to hear what Psycho Killer has to offer in the way of spoilers, hit the road. I'm not going to hold back tonight. Here we go. Let's pull it up. This is my live out-of-theater reaction moments ago. It's inconceivably awful. One of the dumbest scripts I've ever seen made into an actual movie. Audiences should sue 20th Century for biggest discrepancy between trailer and actual film. It's one of those nights we've had a really good run, haven't we? Well, the run is over as we get ready to destroy Psycho Killer. I'll tell you why after we watch 30 seconds of setup. Welcome to MMT. This is the MMTE Live.
Get tickets now. Psycho Killer is coming for you. I'm a twisted writer of 7 and 8 millimeter, and the producers of Barbarian and a producer of Weapons.
You're him.
On February 20th, meet your new nightmare.
Open the gates.
Right, everything about that's like, wow, this looks so rad. Throwback to the 80s. I want some love, by the way, for tonight's Red Out, matching the graphics and the title card of this film. Right now, come in with the love. No one does a better job of graphic design incorporation in the entire film space than MMT, and you know it. Here's the thing, right? You look at that trailer, you look at that 30-second clip, you're like, this is a really cool idea. Dark, from the people who brought us 7 and 8 millimeter and weapons. And you know you're in trouble when they start listing all these past achievements, because the chance of living up to any of that is slim, but the trailer sold it. And the idea of this serial killer traveling across the interstate from Kansas all the way through to the East Coast, killing people along the way, but there's a bigger plan. I mean, we've seen this how many other times? I get it, but still, if you deliver upon that premise, that real dark, nasty looking trailer there, then you're like, here we go. And then, though, you get the actual script. And this is where all shit goes to hell, okay? Because the actual script here gets more and more ridiculous, laughable, and absurd as we continue, because the absurdity stack up here, okay? So you've got the killer. Remember, I told you it's a spoiler stream. We got the killer. He's driving out I-70, going east, okay, through Columbus, Ohio, my hometown. But as he's going along the way, he's killing people, okay? Obviously, what I just laid out before we even got into this. But when you look at it, you're looking at a situation where the killer is satanic, okay, as you can tell, and he is just murdering all kinds of people along the highway. He murders a priest. Can I hit pause for a second? Because I want to talk about the church murder scene for a moment. I want you to hear this out. the killer, dressed in his Jason Voorhees garb with like the Mad Max hat, he comes into the church and the priest is there. I'll listen to your confession. Okay. So he goes into the confessional, the killer in his garb, right? Hard Eyes, another version of that. God, that was, I don't know which was worse, Hard Eyes or Psycho Killer. Oh, he starts to give his confession. He's like, he's got this really dark Bane ADR voice, right? Go back to Dark Knight Rises. You know that entire voice was ADR'd. You can just feel it. And so is everything here. He's got this really dark, deep voice. And he starts going into this soliloquy about how his life's gone to hell. And then here comes the kill. We get a metal, I can only describe this, just listen to me. A giant metal straw is inserted from one side of the confessional into the other, into the priest's esophagus, and then the killer drinks the blood of the priest out of the giant metal straw. I was like, what are we doing? That's one of the kills. Now, there are more, but that is the highlight of how absurd this entire thing is. Instead of making it grounded and dark and disturbing like a 7, like parts of 8mm, you have goofy shit like that. But it gets so much worse. But I want to mention that each one of these kills has zero tension, right? You need to build to some level of like, oh my God, when is it going to happen? Instead, this whole thing is rushed. It comes in at 90 minutes, which, trust me, I'm very thankful this film is short. But everything is so rushed that you don't have any real tension built, and someone's just killed. Like, there's a guy broken down on the side of the road, and here comes the killer. He turns around, and then literally within like 10 seconds, he's hitting him in the head with a hammer. It's like a giant sledgehammer. He's dead. The girlfriend comes out. She gets run over by the 18-wheeler and some really shoddy CGI. This whole film is just cheap and short and junk. Okay, and again, short's a good thing. I haven't gotten to Malcolm McDowell. He comes along about 2/3 of the way through the film as the killer journeys to the house of devil worship where Malcolm McDowell is the leader of the group, okay? And he is with his group of devotees to Satan. They're all inside of this mansion, and the killer, whatever his name is, the psycho killer, they don't even really give him a name. He's the psycho freeway killer. He comes in and he needs an address to get to some guy, and we're like, why does he need the address? Oh, I'll get to that. But after the psycho killer gets the address, he leaves, and there's a goofy character that's kind of like the henchman who's this like young kid. That whole thing's terrible. He goes back in and says, you're not a true believer of the Dark Lord, therefore you're all gonna die, and he kills everybody in there with an axe, okay? I'm sorry, I told you. I'm ruining this movie tonight, whether you like it or not. It's not deserving of anything other than me destroying it, including spoilers. Okay, but why did he need the address? Why did the killer need it? Because, are you guys ready for this? He's actually headed to 3 Mile Island. The killer is on the way to 3 Mile Island on the anniversary of the 3 Mile Island. No, guys, I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. Why did this go off? I want it to stay up. You need to see this. 3 Mile Island. The anniversary. We are going to have our own meltdown caused by the killers with his hand grenades and his giant vest of dynamite as he's going to cause another 3 Mile Island incident and take out the entire East Coast. Do you see how we start with this side of the road serial killer that kills a cop and now turns into this, her husband, she's going to go track him down. Turns out he's going to blow up 3 Mile Island. Guys, what are we fucking doing? Now, one of the producers of this film is a sometimes watcher of MMT. And I'm sorry, Roy, that I have to do this tonight, but I think you and I both know that we were in a private conversation that you would say this is bad. I would pray you would, because this film didn't deserve to even be released in theaters. This is the biggest you talk about a misdirection from trailer to actual product, right? The discrepancy between the two. We're talking about one of the biggest chasms ever between a really strong, menacing trailer and then this goofy film that is really does no justice to someone who wrote Seven and 8mm. The idea. You go and you look at this guy's Andrew Kevin Walter. Here he is. Can you see him? This guy wrote this film, and this is going to be one of the worst films of the year from a directorial standpoint. I would say passing at best, but really you talk about the build of tension, and that's not good, and that's his job. So I would say that's being too kind on direction. Look at the film, looks like a TV show, nothing special, nothing exciting about that. And then you talk about that script and the absurdities. I have not gotten to the last thing that I believe might be the most important thing that you need to take away before I give you my score. This film alludes to the fact that it could be possible that our own government creates the serial killers and unleashes them upon society. That is something you need to really think about for a moment. The end of this film leads you to believe that we are going to have another killer set upon us from the government hub of serial killers somewhere in New Mexico. 7% is your score here tonight. And again, I am so sorry that you had to sit through this if you did. Beretta Man, Psycho Killer's exactly what an AI film would look like, completely flat, dull, and boring. This film's bad across every level, right? I mean, listen, I'm sorry I had to go through it, but you guys have to understand. The screenplay, what are we doing? Like, make it smaller. Make it more, like, torturous. Like, Seven, the thing was great about it, right, was the draw out. It took so long for the whole thing to get put together, and once it did, it fit together so perfectly and just left you with that pit in your stomach at the end of this. This, on the other hand, leaves you with, you're just laughing. Scott Menzel is next to me, and I apologize for dragging him to another terrible movie. We've had bad luck together. And this is a film, by the way, that 20th Century did not screen. They showed it last night as a fan screening. No critics were allowed to come unless they waited in line. I can't imagine waiting in line hours to sit through this Psycho Killer. Wow. Easily going to be one of the worst films of the year. So we've had a really nice start to the year, but we knew sooner or later the garbage would creep in, and here it is here with Psycho Killer. And David, no, I know, listen, I didn't even really do it justice. I actually feel like I could have done this so much. I almost want to do it all again. It's so bad. I can't even really, it's hard to communicate with you how laughable and angry at the same time. I'm laughing and I'm pissed because, again, this is one of these films where you talk about, like we led here tonight, the idea of the film, the central, that's there. And then, what are we doing? Why are you doing this? What's going on? Overwritten, absurd, stop, okay, everything. And again, these kind of films piss me off because you see the possibility of something when you watch that trailer. Like, where's that movie? Why couldn't we just kept it small and kept it, like, instead of him traversing the entire country, can we keep him in one area? All the kills happen so fast, Every single person's killed within seconds of when they meet the guy. I thought we were going to get some kind of, like, Seven thing. We're going to torture the dude. We thought we were getting, like, a Terrifier. Listen, as much as I don't love Terrifier, there's more malevolence to that than anything here. I mean, drinking the blood out of a straw, a giant metal straw. The trailer fooled all of us. Producers of Weapons. You know how I feel about that, Coach. Weapons is hellaciously overrated film, but it's still better than this. But again, same idea, right? Same kind of thing. When you talk about a psycho killer and you talk about a weapons, you're talking about films that the central idea is there, but instead we just glom on all this bullshit and destroy whatever could have been. And it's overwritten, overthought, overdone, overcooked, over everything. And that is the issue. And I just don't understand how people don't get the power of smaller, the power of doing less, the power of making the moments mean more versus it's got to fly by. We got to get all these plot points in all the way through as we go across the country and then eventually at 3 Mile Island. Holy shit. I mean, listen, honestly, if I told you guys this movie was about a serial killer on his way to 3 Mile Island to blow himself up with grenades and dynamite inside Homer Simpson's security apparatus place in The Simpsons. His office. He's going to blow himself up in Homer Simpson's office. And then we're going to get him out. What? What? No. Weber, fucking stop doing crack. You need to stop. Too much crack. Stop. Okay? That's what you would have said. And now, instead, what I say you won't even believe. You can't. It's always a producer for a popular film, but never a producer anyone cares about. Watch out, Roy. Roy, that's not for me. That's from Kevin. Okay? Roy, if you're watching, I still like some of your stuff, but I would not have any part of this. Like, if you would have shown me this movie, I would have said, you need to Batgirl this. And we all know what that means. That means it's gone. It's never coming out. I don't even think I'd put it on Hulu because when you attach your name to something this bad, Psycho Killer, you're doing your name a disservice. That'd be like me, and I'm not saying MMT is great, trust me, but imagine if I came on a stream and I was drunk like Gore and I was dropping F-bombs every 3 seconds, which, you know, has happened occasionally, but okay, drunk, dropping F-bombs, incoherent, which is close to what, but even worse. And then you'd say, well, I mean, MMT is not very good, but now it's even worse. Okay. That's where we are. You can't put your name on something that is unwatchable. Okay. This is borderline, but I'm saying this film is unwatchable. And it's just so embarrassing. It's an embarrassing film, right? And it was, Kevin, you know that. We're on the right side of history. The thing is right, nobody has more trust than me. When I tell you that this film's garbage, you know I'm right. When you see it, you'll be coming back going, this guy's the best. This guy is the #1 evaluator in the entire space because I'm always right. Because these things are right here. I'm objective. I go in and I don't want to hate. I was excited to see this movie. When I stepped in this afternoon to the movie theater, I got there as it was starting. Scott's like, you got to get here. I walk in. I sit up at the top. Here comes the opening frame. And I sit there and I was like, this is going to be cool. I can't wait to watch a dark, fucking twisted serial killer. Maybe Long Legs only good. And then you watch this. This is worse than Long Legs. What the fuck? Luis, it sounds like camp, but it's not. It's straight. It plays straight. But because of the stuff that happens, you know, you'd think it's a comedy, but it's not. And the girl here from Barbarian, who's the police officer whose husband's killed and starts the whole thing of her chasing after the guy, she's not good. She has some lines that she delivers really like, I mean, look at her credits. It's not that incredible. I mean, it's very underwhelming. So, you know, at every level, this film is a failure. Every single level. Maybe the killer from a physical menacing look, because he's kind of jacked. That's kind of a good look, right? You know, the satanic stuff's, you know, we've seen it before. We know all that. That's not really that interesting. But still, the look of that killer, maybe, you know, the hard eyes thing, that just so goofy that you never bought into it. This has that, right, here he is. But you give him that ADR voice. You have him barely having any tension building up to the kills. It's just a bad film. And it's you know, Johnny, it's true. But here's the thing, right, Johnny? Very fair. I do suffer so you don't have to. But conversely, when I love a film, like you guys know I'm very high on Wuthering Heights, I want you to see that film. So it's kind of like, stay away from this shit and patronize this shit, right? That's kind of the whole point here. It's not about, you know, I was just talking to someone here earlier tonight, and I'm like, it's weird how there are people in the space that's about them, right? It's really about them and this. You might think it's about me, but if you really watch my streams, you know it's not. It's about the movies. It's about trying to raise the profile of films that deserve it and recommend those, and then bury the ones that you should absolutely not spend a penny on. So it's not about me. It's about the films, about cinema. It's about spending time wisely. And yes, it's true. I do sit through this stuff a lot of times so that you pray God you don't sit through these things. Seven is a I would agree with that, Luis. I just saw it when they had the re-release in IMAX. It is a masterpiece because it builds just to perfection. And then you get that one of the darkest, bleakest, truest endings of a film ever, right? It just sits so authentically. So Seven, oh man, to have written Seven and then Psycho Killer, you're talking about, listen, as a guy, he's an older dude now. Again, it kind of speaks to what I keep talking about. And I can say this because I'm not 28 anymore. You don't get better as you age typically, okay? I am one of the few that's able to hold it together as best I can. I go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. You guys know that. I'm in the top percentile of guys my age busting my ass at the gym and still doing this and working at these things, right? But for a lot of people, they just fall off. They get lazier. They get dumber. I mean, we've seen this. They get less talented without question. And I think clearly you look at someone who wrote a Seven way back in the 90s, and then you look at 2025, a Psycho Killer, and you're like, you just lost everything. Again, if I wrote this film, I would be embarrassed to show my face for a number of months, maybe years. It's that bad. And, 20th Century knows that. 20th Century did not screen this film. Why do you think they didn't screen it? Because they know it's bad. We make fun of the studios all the time for being clueless. And the executives over there, like, trust me, I would run circles around these motherfuckers all day. Okay, I don't need test screens. I can tell you right now, without 400 people getting a $5, $20 Amazon gift card, I can tell you exactly what's right or wrong with a film, and I can try to correct it. If you'd show me Psycho Killer, I would say we have to go back in and reshoot 90% of this film. I want you to go back and rewrite 90% of this film. I want you to take the idea of the interstate killer. You can keep that, but I do not want it going to 3 Mile Island. I do not want the satanic group led by McDowell. I don't want any of that in this film. That's what the fuck? Like, seriously. Go back to Halloween Kills. The same kind of things. Halloween Ends, pardon me. Halloween Kills, okay. Halloween Ends. Same thing. Test screening. First screening. I come in, Executive Weber comes walking in. What the fuck did I just watch? That's me tonight coming out of Psycho. If I saw this film, I would have had a yelling thing that would have been gone viral. Someone would record it, grab their phone out and go, Weber's going crazy in here. And it would sound like, if you guys remember when what's his name had someone walking through the shot, right? Go back and watch that. Well, Christian Bale. It would sound like Christian Bale going off, going, who made this? Why did we agree to make this? I cannot believe this shit. Get it out of here. I want it back-girled. Seriously. No, honestly, movies with Kevin, I swear to you, when I was watching this, I would love to do a Mystery Science 3000 as I talk about this, because I can talk from the very beginning. When you watch this film, this is a long one tonight because there's so much that's wrong with this film that I could go on. I could do an entire 2 hours talking about this film. That's how fucking awful it is. When you look at the opening of this film, it's very much of a throwback in that you've got the opening title card. Why are you doing like 3 minutes of we've seen a billion times before, right? The article clippings of the serial killer directed by, starring. What are we doing? That's not how you do movies these days. You need to show me the Fox logo, 20th Century, right? Forgive me, Fox is gone. And then I want to drop me right on the road with the killer driving down the way, keep all that, and then he kills the policeman. She pulls up. It's her husband. All that shit stays the same, okay? And then, boom, title card, Psycho Killer. And that's it. Title card off. Next. I'm redirecting this film. I could take everything here and make it better. Now, I'm not saying it'd be good, but I can promise you this. I can direct a film better than this motherfucker. This guy is some shit. This is some shit direction, okay? So, yeah, exactly. I've already made this film better in the first 5 minutes. And I could continue because I'd be cutting. This film would come in at like 70 minutes. Well, where happened to the film? Well, we got to rewrite it. I got to reshoot. I have to reshoot so much of this film. But I'm just saying, the beginning, at least I can go in. But they won't let me come to test screenings because they're afraid that I'm going to come in and say what I'm going to say. Bring me. Roy, you watch the stream. Why do you not have me at these test screenings? Why do you not have me at the test screening, Roy? Let me just go right to you here tonight. Why are you not bringing me in? Because I would come in and I would savage this shit, and you know it's fair. You know, Roy, that it's fair. And the fact that I'm not invited to this stuff because you're afraid or Weber's too mean or we know more, you don't know more, okay? You don't. I know more, and I can help you, but you're not going to take it. I'm offering you this, and you refuse, okay? That gets tiresome. When I have to do this shit over and over and over, and there still isn't someone saying, dude, we need you to fucking help us because we need help. Hollywood needs help, you guys. You know that. You look at the Robert Pattinson dressing up like that shit. Do you think I would allow that to come out? Do you think I would say, we're not doing that. Like, I can't believe there isn't someone who just says, don't do this. Like, that's my job. I swear to God. Bring me in. Tell me what you're going to do. No, do not fucking do that. I'd be an agent. I'd be a great agent. I'd be the best agent. No. Remember what I told you guys? Go back to Madam Web. If they came to me, remember we talked about she made the biggest mistake ever by agreeing to be in Scarlet Web. If you bring me that script, I would have said, we're not doing this. There's no way in fuck we're making a Madam Web movie from Sony. Sony's only fucked up every sidecar character from Spider-Man. We're not making Madam Web. You're not in this movie. I'm going to stay. I would keep my clients away from garbage. Okay? And I'm just, do you guys understand how tiring that gets? To have to go and berate these people and tell them they have no clue what they're doing because they don't. I mean, if someone wants to critique my thread, they could all day. Bootleg Bane, exactly. You see it, Luis? You did, didn't you? It's terrible, isn't it? Did you watch it? Fucking awful. Go watch it. If 20th Century Fox was still a separate studio, the film could have been better. Maybe. I can't answer that question because once Disney took it over, it's hard to say. You know, Fox certainly was a studio that released some strong films. I mean, we had a very singular vision over there, very much like a Warner Brothers these days. But now that Fox was co-opted by Disney, it's hard to even say what Fox is, 20th Century, what it even is. You know, it's very difficult to even get a read on how things are operated there. Is it all Disney? Because as you know, Disney never made horror films. But whoever's in charge of Final Cut, whoever agreed to make this film the way it is and release it, it's a fireable offense. It just is. It's fireable. You're gone. You're gone tomorrow. I mean, no, you're not gone tomorrow. You're gone the second I see this movie. Everyone who said this was a good film. Here's my test. I would watch the test screening with everybody in the room. There'd be 20 of us in there, and I'd sit back and I'd sit in the back and I'd just listen to everybody talk. And if anybody said this is good, this is great, you're fired. Well, I would just from the back. I'd be like, Gene, did you just say it's good? You're out of here. Take your shit. Security will have your stuff. It's out. Who else? Adam, I think I heard you say this is a good film. You're gone. You're out. No, you're out. I heard you. You said it's good. I'm not kidding. There's no room for error on this shit. And I know I'm going off on a film that's going to open with like $1.5 million, $2 million this weekend. 1,100 screens. They know it's terrible. Why is it on 1,100 screens? When you see the movie, you know why. Can't believe it's on 5 screens. Okay? I'm angry. Fucking angry. I probably will see the Elvis doc. I mean, I do want to see it, but I also want to see that A24 film with Glenn Powell because I hear that's not very good either. And I want to savage that film. You know, because why? Why do I want to savage these films? Because I hope, all I want out of the stream, honestly, God, all I want is one thing. I want one person in this town to watch it and go, this motherfucker's dead on. I want one person to go, he's right. What are we doing? One. I'll do these for the remainder of time. If I can just get one person at one studio to say, my God, what are we fucking doing? And I know I have. I know we have over the years. I mean, go back and look at Horizon. I don't know if I've ever been harder on a film than Horizon. Remember when I came out? And I had direct messages from multiple directors after they watched that Horizon stream and said, you are the only person who has savaged this completely, fairly. This is garbage. I go, it is. Whatever happened to Horizon 2? Is it out? Did you ever see it? No, you didn't. Because I'm right. Guys, I'm right. I'm right every time. I'm right about Wuthering Heights. I'm certainly right about Psycho Killer. I'm right about every fucking film. I'm just telling you it's true because there's no one who's more objective, more talented. It's on my stream. I'll do what I want. I'll say what I want. It's true. What I'm saying is 100% accurate. There's nobody in the space that can compete. Nobody. Because they're going to miss on something they can't miss on. You know, I'll drag Simone tonight. Simone, I love you. Simone, this film's trash. You said it was good. Simone said this shit was good. I mean, honey, you can't make mistakes like that. I'm just telling you, Simone, you cannot be that wrong. You just can't. Because when someone watches it, they're going to go, what? Like, you can't be that wrong about some of this stuff. And it's unbelievable. We got UFO files being released before good movies being made true. I mean, listen, though, you know we've had a pretty good year. You go back to a lot of the films that we love. You talk about Wuthering Heights. You talk about Crime 101. And you talk about The Plague, okay? These are three very good films. I like all three. Now, are they masterpieces? No. Do I strongly recommend all three? Yes. Are they all light years stronger than Psycho Killer? Yes. I mean, this will be one of the worst films of the year, like I said. I can't, no, yeah, you know what, this is a good hashtag, Adam. This is it's true. I mean it. Like, because you guys know, if I was in the room with, I don't care who it was. I don't care if it's Zaslav. I don't care if it's Sarandos. I don't care if it's Iger. If I'm in the room and they're paying me to evaluate the film, I am going to savage it or praise it regardless of the pay scale of the person in the room with me. My job is to make this film better, and I'm going to have to get dirty doing this shit. Do you understand that? It's not going to be pretty. I am not going to hold back, because if I do, you're not going to get the best product, and then you're going to screw yourself on the back end. When moviegoers go to see this shit, they're going to say, I'm angry. I don't want to see a movie anytime in the near future, and movie theaters can't take any more of this shit. The more bad films that are delivered into the movie theaters and you pay to see, you're going to say, I'm not going back. I've got A-list. I can wipe this off. It means nothing. It's gone. 4 movies a week. This is one I'll forget. Well, I won't forget it. I'll keep it with me because it's so awful. But it doesn't matter to me. But if you spent $15, $20 in here watching Psycho Killer, you're going to go, wow, I don't like going to the movies. Like we talked about last year with a Mickey 17. Okay, that film's unwatchable. Psycho Killer's watchable, but bad. Okay, Mickey 17 is torturously unwatchable. Okay, there's levels. Okay, but I'm just saying it's still bad and still deserves to be scorned and destroyed. And the people who said this was quality or even thought that this was good deserve to be dragged. Okay, dragged hard, because I would expect someone, again, this is my stream. This is YouTube. If you're watching on X, and there's like X is screwed right now. So if you're watching, I don't know how you are. But if you're watching here tonight, my channel, I can do what I want. I do not have a corporation looking over me saying, here's your budget of $5 million for your show, and this is what you want you to talk about. You need to make it more inclusive. I'm not talking about racially inclusive. I'm talking about just inclusive for viewers. Instead of talking about Psycho Killer for 33 minutes and going off on minutia, I need you to talk about the fact that Eric Dane just died. Fine, we'll talk about that in a minute. But my point is I'm doing things how I want to do them because it's my show. I don't have to answer to shareholders, to a boss. This is my thing, okay? But if I did, do you think this would already be over? And I wouldn't even say some of the things I said because they'd be like, you have to sanitize your shit. That's why I'm never going to do that. I would never take this show. First of all, they would never want it, because do you think this, first of all, Variety, Deadline, THR, none of them are going to take the show. Why? Because if they did, the studios would be like, we can't have this. This guy is too hard. This guy's too rough. This guy does not play nice. I said in my tweet tonight, you saw it, 20th Century should be sued for the chasm between trailer and final product of Psycho Killer. That's brutalizing. Do you see any of the THR, Deadline, or Variety writers saying that? No, you do not, because they have to play with kid gloves, because the studios will yank their advertising. It's all part of a giant system. I am not part of the system. I will never be part of the system. I am outside the system. It'll forever be that way. MMT is its own fucking deal, and you will never control me. It's never going to happen. So I don't care what you offer me. You could come in here and say, we're going to give you, first of all, if I took money and I said, here's $300,000 a year to do a show, I would tell you guys, I'm now getting paid, so the content's going to change slightly because I have to answer to the overlords. I would say that. I would disclose that. Rogan doesn't disclose that. Does he? Any of these guys? Because there's very few true, authentic wild cards out there saying the real fucking truth, and I'm one of them. And it'll forever be that way. Because I don't have interest. They don't have anything on me as far as, well, we're going to pay you so much money. I don't care about living in a fucking mansion up on the hill. I don't care about driving off in my Lamborghini. It doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, what matters to me is truth and authenticity. So what are you going to pay me? What are you going to do? How are you going to get me? You can't, because I don't give a fuck. That's the difference. And when you don't give a fuck, that's where the real power comes in, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. It's one of those nights here tonight. I watched Mickey 17 at home, wanted to throw my TV through the window. Kevin, go back and watch my stream. My stream of Mickey 17, I mean, Gone Girl's here now. Thank you for showing up, Gone Girl, hitting some comments here for me tonight. Remembers that stream. It was brutalizing. I was furious, okay? I told you guys the story about the guy who was next to me, got up and left about 45 minutes in when that dinner scene kicks in and you just go, I want to gouge my eyeballs out. Okay. When that happened, that guy left. And I said that night, imagine the damage you just did to that dude who may not come back to the movies anytime in the next 5, 6, 7 months, years, because he's like Mickey 17. You can't make films that are that putrid. And it is, dude, Kevin, that is unforgivable. Bong destroyed his legacy with Mickey 17. To go from Parasite to Mickey 17, there is no bigger fall off from a director from Parasite to Mickey 17 than Bong. I would have, and this is my job, again, the cleaner, the Ray Donovan of the space. If you brought me in to watch Mickey 17 and I had Bong, and I'd need his translator, and I met Bong multiple times during the Parasite year, because that's when I was going to all the parties. If I was sitting down with Bong, I'd say, Bong, we're not releasing this. And you're going to thank me for this down the road. You're never going to understand why, because you're going to think, I'm just telling you, I'm saving you right here. Mickey 17 will never be seen by anyone. We'll pretend it didn't happen. I'll feed a story into the press about there was an issue with the actor strike, whatever. We'll figure something out. Let me get with my team. We'll figure that out. But this film will never come out. We're not going to say it was Batgirl, because that's not good for you either, right? We will just say there was an issue with the cameras and we didn't capture as much as we wanted. Some of the film wasn't working. So we thought we had it all in the can, but we didn't. So instead of making it again, we figured it's too much. Robert Pattinson's off doing something else. We can't get him. We can work with that. Let's just work with. I've never seen walkouts at a sold out IMAX till that dinner scene in Mickey 17. What'd I say? Listen, dude, I think we're there, right? Were you there with me? I think I saw during the day. But again, these things, this is the central message of tonight. There are certain things that are unforgivable. And movies like Psycho Killer, Mickey 17, these will turn people off and they will be furious at going to the movies again. And the damage, the collateral damage done by these films and these directors, unforgivable. That is the takeaway. A couple more comments here. Listen, that's 40 minutes of me destroying this film and then talking about the bigger picture of studios not bringing me in. And I love that. Listen, make it trend. Bring Weber in. We get something good. Let Weber cook. I don't know. Psycho Killer's so bad, the review embargo. You know what, Luis? I'm glad you brought this up. The review embargo for Psycho Killer lifts tomorrow. But guess what? 20th Century, this is for you tonight. I got news for you. You don't invite me to your little fucking critic screening. So guess what? I'll review it when I fucking want. And I'm reviewing it right now. And your film is trash. So I don't care about your fucking embargo. I'll do what I want because you don't control me. Make better fucking movies. There's your review embargo, 20th Century / Disney. Yeah, exactly. I'm not like one of them. I'm not one of them. I gotta get invited to that next big soiree, or I'm not gonna feel validated in the space. Go for it. I have no interest. None. Silence of the Lambs are more long legs. Dude, listen. By the way, Green Henry Show, I appreciate you being here. First time, I believe. I don't even want to answer that because it's not fair to either film. I would say it's definitely closer to Long Legs, but way worse. And Long Legs, I have a lot of problems with, right? We've all talked about how Long Legs falls apart once we get to that supernatural twist. Once we learn it's the dolls in the house. What? Like, I saw that early, right? Remember, guys, I had an early reaction to that. Neon let me see it early. That was the last time because I went off on it. Look, that film's cool. Everything about it's cool. And then we go, wait, what's happening? He puts a spell on the doll possesses the person inside the house to kill the family. Wow, that's something. Why, see, again, overwritten. Why can't the serial killer just be a killer? You know, in this film, he is, right? He is. And it's a little goofy, right? He's always dressed up in his Mad Max outfit, Bane, whatever. Okay, and so that's kind of goofy. We don't ever see his face. And again, he's a super killer created by the government. Don't forget that they have. I think it's in New Mexico. Remember, if you want to see Psycho Killer, you'll see at the end. The disclosure is there is an actual factory/prison full of these killers that they bring back and release into society to create mayhem. Maybe it's true. I'm just telling you, this film kind of lets it out there, right? The soft disclosure. Copycat. Listen, Jacob, name a serial killer movie. It's better than Psycho Killer. Okay, any single film that you have. Let's talk. Let's. Okay, that's enough. I can't do any more. We'll come back if we have any extra time. I want to talk about Eric Dane quickly because I know that it just broke and a lot of people are discussing it. So let me just give you my thoughts. First of all, 53 years old is no time to die. I mean, I'm not talking about James Bond, obviously. I'm talking about this horrific 53-year-old Eric Dane dead. He had Alzheimer's, correct? Or was it, what was the 53? Okay, late. I never saw him in Euphoria. He was just the bad guy in the last Bad Boys movie, which I did not like, but he was in that. He ALS. Okay, so he had Lou Gehrig disease. But 53. And, you know, again, you know, we're seeing, I'm just going to say it like this, guys. I'm going to be honest with you guys tonight because a lot of times I don't talk about this. I figured it's a good time to talk about it. We're seeing a lot of, quote, rare things going around right now, aren't we? A lot of rare this and a rare lot. If it's so rare, why are so many people dying of it? Can I ask you that question? Why are so many now all of a sudden dying of these things? Because they're being told they're all rare. Rare brain cancer, rare ALS, rare this. It's always rare. Well, how come they're not rare anymore? Why is that not rare? So I'm gonna pose that question to you tonight. Why is it not rare anymore? Why are these things all of a sudden just like common? You know, 53. When you go back 10 years ago, I don't recall anyone dying at 53 just randomly. I mean, granted, ALS, but it didn't. Now we're getting people 40s, 50s, 60s dying like every day. Every day. Someone else. I mean, you guys don't notice? Have you not been paying attention? It's everywhere. You can't miss it. And if you are blind to it, you're willfully blind. There's no way that you can ignore what we're seeing. This avalanche in the wake of this week's news, maybe not the best word, but it's true. It is an avalanche of rare degenerative diseases that are striking down people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, way too young. And rest in peace. I mean, anybody who's 53 years old has got a family. He's married to Rebecca Gayheart, right? He's got his daughters, I believe. And, you know, Grey's Anatomy obviously was a big show for him. I don't have a whole lot of knowledge of him because obviously I wasn't watching Grey's Anatomy, wasn't a huge movie actor. Like I said, he was in the last Bad Boys. But again, just more tragedy. It seems like every day, more and more of this stuff just piles on. I also want to, on Sunday, I think I'm going to save it for Sunday. We'll talk about Cameron, talking about Netflix and not Universal, excuse me, Paramount and Warner Brothers. That's a good topic for Sunday. Also, we've got McConaughey talking about AI. That's a great Sunday topic. I want to save some things so we can talk about. Remember, Sunday nights are kind of big conversational kind of thing. We'll also have the evaluation of that new A24 film, How to Make a Killing, I think is what it's called, right? So I hear words okay on that at best, like it's okay. We'll talk about, I think it's very clear that we need to have a discussion about the career of what's his ass, because you look at Glenn Powell and he just seems like things are not, Running Man, if this film doesn't do well, which it very likely will not, you got to start looking at that too. All right, let's do some open comments here on this Thursday night, and then we'll get out of here. Thanks for being here. It's always a pleasure. It really is. Let's do the comment blast closeout. Sorry, I'm late to the party. Just got back in from Psycho Killer. Oh, God, was that not awful? Nothing in the film was believable. Listen, Bruce, go back and watch the entire stream. You'll see it. I mean, I just destroyed it for literally 40 minutes. So you'll see stuff. If you have something you want to add to why this film was bad, feel free. If I missed something, I think I hit on most of the stuff because we did a spoiler review here tonight. It's awful. But if I missed something, please let me know. I would love to discuss it again on Sunday because it's fun. I mean, it's such a bad film. I'd love to, there's so much to deconstruct with this film. But yeah, Bruce, I'm with you. I mean, again, imagine if how much credibility would I lose here tonight if you guys went to see Psycho Killer? A lot of you, obviously, you've seen it, say it's awful. And I'm in here going, this is a great film. You'd be like, what? That's why you watch MMT, because because all I do is constantly reinforce and certainly demonstrate that I have very strong evaluation skills every time. If I didn't, you wouldn't come back. I wouldn't have a really strong views to subs ratio, right? Very strong, because the people who watch go, this guy knows what he's talking about, and he's usually right, like almost always. And he's fair. He's fair. I mean, I think that's the other thing people really appreciate about what we do here is fair, versus non-objective versus agenda-driven. We're not. I certainly just talked about how the Robert Pattinson dress, we'll talk about it Sunday, but him, in that whole outfit get up, I would never advise doing that. I mean, I don't know what the point of it is. For shock value, it's bad. Certainly given everything that's going on in the world, I just would not do that. It's just a bad look, and it's going to piss people off. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to sell tickets. I'm not trying to piss people off. So I'm going to advise against it. I don't know why Pattinson said to do it. I would have said no. I think these actors got to be stronger about saying no. I talk about me saying no. Most critics don't say no, right? They say, I'll do whatever it takes to get in to see the movie first, right? Look at people standing in line to see Psycho Killer yesterday. We're not going to screen it, but if you come, we'll show it in Santa Monica at the Arrow, and you can wait in line for like 5 hours and watch the movie. I got to see Psycho Killer first, and you see it, and it's awful. So these people are so desperate and thirsty. They're so fucking thirsty, right? Don't be so thirsty. I talk about this all the time on this channel. I do this channel, I do it, and I move on. It's just that simple. You just do the show and you move on. Tonight we did our evaluation of this thing. I could have done a million other things. I talked about Psycho Killer because that's what we do. I like talking about movies. I like evaluating movies. I like talking about cinema, and we can talk about all the other stuff, but this is what we do, and I think we do it better than anybody else. Any other comments here before we get out of here? Let me put back up Twilight Zone because it's a cool song from the 80s. I want to say 83. Right, why did I pick this? Because boy, it's the bone. But which one? What happened? Oh, you know what? Okay, Luis, I get it. You're right. I do hear that a little bit. That we kind of, because listen, we're of the same generation. I think that's the other reason why. Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate it, man. I really do. And you knew it, with a gold standard, but I had to constantly prove it, right? Because Bruce, if you came on here tonight and you just heard me saying this is a great film and oh my God, you gotta see Psycho Killer, you'd be like, what? You'd instantly, the gold standard is now not even the bronze standard. It's the cubic zirconia standard. You're like, I can't ever. That's the thing is, there's a lot of pressure on me to get these things right, Bruce? I mean, that's the thing. There really is. I mean, if I don't get them right, you guys are gonna be like, what's wrong with Weber? Because I think you expect me to get them right, because I am right, every time. Now, Luis knows, because Luis and I had conversations at AMC Burbank. Sometimes, what was it we just saw that I came out and I said it was terrible and you liked it? What was it? It was recently. and I did not like it, and you did, and we had a lot of conversations. But the thing is right, so you know that I'm usually over the target. So if I'm really off, like on Psycho Killer, you'd be like, dude, I don't know. I'm going to need some time. You need to reprove yourself. The good news is because I'm right so often, I don't have to always prove myself. Even though I do, I don't have to. Like, there's no pressure. You know that I'm going to come on and be on the right side of history. So it's like, I don't have to worry about this. It's like, it's comfortable, but also authentic. And also you feel like it's earned. And I think that counts that's hard. You have to do that over years. I talk about that all the time, right? You can come into space and start talking about this, and this, but until you've done it over a period of years of calling things on the right side of history over the course of over a decade now, then you start to say, this guy's good. You have to get there. You cannot do it in a day, a week, a year. It takes a long time. And these kids now come into the space and they all think, I am like the film critic with your Burger Chef cap. You're the Burger Chef, remember that? Burger King hat, you're like, I'm the king. You're not. You haven't done shit. Prove yourself. It's going to take time, too. It's not even a month. These kids don't know what dedication and determination and perseverance mean. You know, listen, I talk about the gym all the time. I would not be in the condition I was in if I did not consistently hit the gym 4 or 5 days a week. If I started going 2 days a week, wouldn't be as good a shape. Now, I'm not saying you need to go every day. I think 3 to 4 days is good. But again, the more you put into something, the more you get out of it. These streams, I've done, 1,000 live streams? Listen, I'm better than I was before. I don't know if I'm getting better, because I think at some point you just reach your optimal level or close to it. And it's live, so sometimes it's going to be dead on, sometimes it's going to be a little bit off, sometimes it's not going to be exactly what I wanted, but it's going to be close. You're trying to hit like an 85 percentile or higher, which is still pretty good for live. That's great. You know, if I'm taping this, I could probably hit 100. Why wouldn't I? I'd be editing everything. I'd be stop, edit, cut. We're not doing that. It's live. And what I like about it is when it's done, it's done. All right, any other comments before we get out of here on this Thursday? I almost said Sunday. We're back on Sunday. I can't wait. By the way, I just want one like right now. If you've not given me one yet, I want you to give me a like for the red. Come on, guys. Look, again, for the Psycho Killer, for the tie-in between what you're looking. Do you understand? Name one other person right now before we leave that is able to tie together the film, the graphics, and the overall aesthetic. No one. You got to eat more than one Whopper to be a true. I've had a Whopper before. I don't hate Burger King. I used to stop there when I was on the road and I was going through a town and I had to eat something when I was traveling from Columbus to Cincinnati. Back in the day, I'd go down to see a Bengals game and I would stop at Burger King and usually I get 2 hamburgers because you get more meat and they were cheap. 2 hamburgers were $1. So I'd take 2. I'd take 1 bun, stack the patties, and I'd plow it. Too much salt, though, Coach. I don't have a lot of salt because I feel like sodium, it bloats you, obviously, but I just also don't really like the taste of salt, so a lot of stuff I get is kind of no salt added. I'm not saying salt's the worst thing, but I'm saying when you go out to eat and you have a ton of salt, you can feel the bloat. I think that's kind of the danger for me. All right, a couple more comments and we're out of here on this Thursday. I might go a full hour. I don't know. Resurrection's really good. Which? Oh, the movie? I don't know if is that the one with Rebecca Hall? I think it is. Gone Girl, is that the one with Rebecca Hall, Resurrection? I don't remember. Are you talking about Alien Resurrection? Jacob, I'm not sure. But there was a movie with Rebecca Hall, I think called Resurrection, a few years ago, IFC film. I like Rebecca Hall. She's a really cool actress. Not when she's in Godzilla, for God's sake. Any other comments? If not, we're out of here on this Thursday. Always a pleasure, guys. I mean it. I thank you. But the movie tonight was not a pleasure. It was an absolute disaster, and I was not happy with it. It's Psycho Killer. If you want to rewatch the stream anytime, YouTube is the place for that. It is Midnight Movie Talk. If you're on X, I don't know how you're watching me because I think the streams are fucked. But if you are, you can go like us on YouTube, and we'll always be there fighting for the right side of cinematic history every single time. We are the gold standard, and I thank you for being here. We're back here on Sunday. Thanks for being here. Enjoy your weekend. See you Sunday night for the Sunday Evening Spectacular. Good night from Los Angeles.